Best of 5 grand finals. $1,002 for first place. $500 for second. Nobody walks away today a loser, but somebody walks away a very big winner. Spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map, he is currently teamless. The blue Terran player alive.
And in the top left, we've got our red Protoss player bringing it back to 1-1. Playing for Yoey Flash Wolves, it is San. And God, I just saw the pancakes on the stream.
I know, they look so good. I'm so done with this, dude. I wish I lived near an IHOP. The closest IHOP to me is like seriously a good 20-minute ride. Screw that.
Alright, yeah.
But just something to address real quick. I did see someone ask this earlier and I totally spaced out on answering it. Who makes these wonderful intros for us? Myself and another guy named Flamgo. We work together every season to put together these awesome intros for you guys to enjoy. The irony of this is for the last like 2 or 3 seasons, with the exception of Frost only, I've used copyright clear music or music we had permission for like every intro. This was the first season in a long time I was like, screw it, let's just get some rock and roll, some cool sounding stuff. And then like all the copyright stuff happens on Twitch and I'm like, oh, the timing sucks. I am planning to go back and redo them though, guys, so we will have a bit cleaner intros and you won't have to worry about VODs getting muted and stuff. But that aside, focusing on the game at hand here, we are going to be uploading all the Dragon Invitational VODs to YouTube ASAP. None are up there yet, but they will be as soon as we conclude so I can start cutting them. Because, oh my god, there's so many.
Yeah, wait, oh, that's a lot of gas. That must have been gas before barracks. Like, he's already mined 60 gas and the barracks not even that close to finishing, so it looks like he went gas barracks. So
yeah, it means you just took
Alive is maybe Alive is thinking, well, you know, I went for the later pressure last game with the quicker CC, and that didn't work. So maybe this game he's thinking, I'm just gonna do it a lot quicker, and maybe it'll work this time. So
show
he seems
up.
to be favoring the aggression builds. He just does them at different times consistently.
So for all you would-be Terran players out there, or people who need to scout Terran, if you see a CC coming down like this and you want to know whether it was an 11 gas or 13 gas, it all depends on when that factory comes down timing wise. So 16 SCVs is factory coming down immediately. 15 SCVs is you have to actually wait about 30 seconds to get that gas up. Just saying. But yeah, no, with the earlier gas, of course, it's gonna be the faster Hellions than normal. I'm not sure if San's gonna recognize this. I mean, his defense against the Hellions has been not too bad, mostly in the sense that Alive has been throwing away his Hellions. So maybe this time, with the early focus on them, with the dedication to getting 5 out as soon as possible, he might actually control them to the extent where San just gets completely flabbergasted. You know, 1 mothership core, 1 stalker, no photon overcharge. How do you stop those Hellions?
Flabbergasted. Yep. Yeah, it's it could get tricky. They're gonna hit very quickly. He does throw down the CC behind this, but yeah, no starport yet though. So this is like he's just gonna attack with this 1 alien.
Yeah, I thought this was gonna be like crazy Hellion production. 2 Marines is fine, but
this is weird. Is he just gonna scout or?
No, I think he's gonna swap it over to Widowmine drops. Is my next best guess, but he's
this
hesitant.
1 Hellion, what's he? Is he just gonna scout with this? No, what's he? Okay.
No, he throws on tech lab. He's gonna like you're not going Banshees, right? Like he's just gonna get okay, so he's just gonna go for the double tech.
Maybe he's mind gaming.
I don't think it's mind game. It's more like this is an opening you see like the double racks is in this particular sequence. If you're worried about oracles, you want to get stim out as quick as you can. You need to be able to produce 3 Marines at a time, but at the same time you could just build 1 Widowmine. So I'm not quite sure what Alive is worried about or what he's seen that spooked him, because San doesn't really have anything to scare him with.
Yeah, but he went gas before barracks. He made 1 Hellion. And that's the only thing he used that early gas for. So, I mean, maybe because San didn't scout all of the games. So maybe because maybe he thought San wouldn't scout with the probe this game. And then when he got scouted, he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna abort plans, barracks, and not do the attack. Maybe.
Well, hang on, I'm sure he's actually killed 2 probes for as of his first blood, but he's actually killed 2 probes with the Hellion. So
better than expected.
Exactly, like at the moment it's operating at cost. It's a little bit more sturdy than a Reaper as far as scouting goes. I mean, this is an awkward opening, but it's not a bad one. But we do have Widowmines being produced behind this.
Still a little bit behind though, right? Let's see, worker 27 to 35. So that does favor San, and that's of course because that expansion was heavily delayed because of how much gas he was mining early on. So I mean, San is in a nice position still, despite losing those 2 probes. But I mean, Alive is obviously not out of it, but he's just gonna be a little bit behind. But he does have those mules, so it's not too bad. He's Terran after all.
Yeah, mules are nice. The robotics bay is on the way here, so gonna be able to crank out this Colossus here pretty quickly. Seems to be the meta of the game. There's just really not a lot of other ways to play it as far as standard goes for what you're going tech-wise, but same kind of goes for Terran. You're just going to get those 4 medevacs out, followed up by just constant Vikings, and we've seen combination pulls, we've seen combination defenses, all-ins himself out of San. I mean, there's a lot of ways to deal with what Alive is doing as far as his standard build goes, and I'm really curious to see what San does, because for Alive, it really feels like he's making the predictable steps. Like, even the games he's winning, like, it's hard to say, oh, it's so predictable, why did they stop him? But he is kind of making the classic moves, with the exception of Hellions. So I'm curious how San plans to handle this. Normally it's the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah, the game is definitely normalizing now. We see +1 finishing and Stimpack at the same time. And Alive's timings just has been so good, I just have to say. Like, when that starport finished and he moved it onto the reactor, he had just about 200 minutes and 200 gas. So this medivac timing is like pretty clutch. Like, he has barely enough units to fill them, and he didn't delay any upgrades for the 2 medivacs, so it's gonna hit at a pretty nice time. But I mean, San does have the tools to not take damage to this.
Yeah, he's got +1 armor. He can warp in a couple zealots to soak the hits from the Marines and the Marauders. I mean, this could do maybe a Paladin Snipe, maybe a couple probes, but he's gonna see the Colossus, and yeah,
this is mainly Marines as well.
Yeah, nope out of there.
This is a scary dude, so yeah, gets out of there. And how many gateways? Let's see, 5 gateways. He's getting upgrades, still making probes, so San is not gonna go for any sort of form of early all-in. He's gonna go for that 3rd base eventually, as soon as he has enough units to hold on to the base. Killing the rocks preemptively.
I like this. This opens up another pathway as well for him to get around. This one Marine, what are you doing? He's running for his life. Can he save it? Medevac, go! Medevac, go!
No!
Not like this, man. Not like this. Picks off the warpins. They're pretty fresh. Does pop up the overcharge as well. Right side of the map, we got units streaming forward, but there's no drop potential with this. The only thing they're going to really be able to do is stim in from behind and maybe catch the Colossus off guard.
This is a lot of like potential damage though. So San is like preparing super hard to not take damage. So I would like to see Alive go for a 3rd behind this, but I guess he's been catching up on workers still. Like, he's only on 13 in the natural, so he's gonna stay on 5 racks for now and just get a lot of units.
I wouldn't say a 3rd would be bad, if for nothing else other than just to have that mule, but taking an actual physical 3rd base for his Protoss players, I don't know, man. Zealots are pretty good.
Yep, yeah, 5 racks for now. It's gonna try and just get a lot of stuff. Just got +1 armor finishing. It's gonna be 1-1 versus 1-1 for a while.
So Alive is kind of trading decently here on the left side of the field. Like, he's not gonna push it anytime soon. The Colossus will keep him out, but picking off a Zealot, a Stalker, a Sentry, just baiting all this. Meanwhile, his real army is banking up over here on the right side of the map, and you know, while San's busy focusing on the left, this could easily drop. This could eventually start pushing in. He's got Widow Mines as well, plenty of them to boot.
Yeah, hopefully he realizes that he's got 2 Widow Mines in his main, actually. He's just chilling there at the factory, so kind of sucks for him.
Oh, yeah, I hate when that happens. Yeah, you have like a rally, but it breaks for like 1 sec. So.
Right, it's cool.
This is where you have to
he's not making SCVs, by the way. Alive has not been making SCVs for a long time.
Yeah,
so,
well, I mean, look at that army supply. This really reflects how well this works. But sadly, the thing is, he doesn't, despite having numbers, it's not efficient numbers again. I always talk about this for Protoss guys, because the thing is, if the Colossus are just banked up at the back, they're good to go. But actually, might get caught a little bit off guard. I believe he did complete Extended Thermalist. Yeah, he's already got that underway, so.
I mean, he'll be able to pick off. Kind of committed here. We'll see how this goes.
Kind of. He's absolutely committed here.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 base versus 2 base, but he has been cutting SCVs so much, and he's not making a 3rd, so he wants to trade pretty well here, but only 4 Vikings versus 3 Colossus? I don't know.
Yeah, but look at the Stalker count. It's really not that high. He just warped in some new ones, which is nice. He's also got the Widow Mines down to kill those Zealots.
Oh, this
is an awkward as hell engagement out of Alive, but I think if he can clear out the Zealots, yeah, obviously he can stay on top of the Stalkers. If he takes out the Stalkers, and the Vikings will eventually kill the Colossus, but... Look at this, he stimps on top of the Colossus!
God, why is this working?
This is working because San has no buffer. This is the whole thing with the Widow Mines killing the Zealots, but sadly, as we see the momentum starting to give out.
That went surprisingly well. Those Wither Mines killed so many Zealots there, very nice. And those Colossus are very low, but they are still alive. Those 2 Colossus are going to be so valuable for San here. He's got a 3rd one popping as well, but killing the Assimilator, that's nice. Slowing down the gas income is a big deal, but...
I agree, but Sun's also taking a 3rd behind this as well, wiggling this in.
Oh, on the left side, that's clever. Nice move.
Alive also taking his own 3rd, which is something you normally can't afford to do, but decides to pick up with his drop. I actually like this. The sad thing is it's spotted with that Observer, so San can reposition accordingly. Those Colossus that were low, they've had their energy or their shields replenished at this point.
San did spot the drop as well. Like, yeah, he was paying attention to the observer vision, so he does pull 1 High Templar with those Stalkers, so... Well, that's scary for Alive if he goes in there.
Well, only one of the Medivacs is high enough to get feedback to death anyways, but left side of the map, does he actually know? Nice split here out of Sun, actually. I feel like he's just barely pulled exactly what he needs. As you said, feedback does go down on that Medivac. Marauders, they're going to be able to deal with the Stalkers, no problemo, but without the Medivac, there's no healing against the Zealots.
Yeah, that was pretty bad for Alive. He lost a lot there, and this is kind of spiraling out of control in San's favor. He's got that Templar Archives out on the field, 3rd base finishing at the same time as Alive's 3rd base, and San has just been trading better, which means since their economy has been pretty much the same, San is going to have more stuff, and that's a scary thing for the Terran player. Alive now, throwing down the Ghost Academy, but the Viking count, it scares me. Where's the Vikings? No Vikings! 0 Vikings versus 4 Colossus.
Well, I didn't really have the money for it, too. I mean, the gas for Alive is really nice, but as you pointed out, he really stopped making SCVs early, so when he was pumping out all his Marauders and Marines and replacing the Medivacs, he didn't have any money to remake them with, and I think he's predicting a Templar transition after that first bit of aggression, but that's not the case. He's got to still clean up these Colossus. Let's not forget, 2 may be low, but they're still alive is the thing, so 4 Colossus in total is just going to volley and truck through Alive's forces. Yeah,
and there's Archons now as well. I mean, he didn't go for Storm or anything like that, but those Archons were just such a scary thing to face when you're so down on army supply. So
he's got a... I don't even know if he can hold 30. He might just lift up and... He's just going to retreat out right now.
Stalker is moving forward, trying to pick up a Viking, doesn't get one.
You can always take a shot or two. Of course, you can blink juke out some Marauder shots, but you know, there's no ghosts here. There's no more Widow Mines. Widow Mines were the best thing going for Alive. They killed so many Zealots in those previous engagements. They kind of work as mini EMPs, but this is just San's game at this point. There's just no way Alive. There's too much. The Colossus are really late to the fight, though, so the Zealots kind of getting wasted. But as we see, with that charge, they can and do connect. There's even a Probe on the front lines.
Colossus tied to the turret, but yeah, that's it. Way too much stuff.
GG.
Way too much. GG.